Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another session of Reflections. We've been talking about association, and I was so excited this morning because the Lord just began to drop so many things in my heart to share with you, and there's no way I can finish sharing because of our time. So I'm just going to go straight into it this morning. Number one, I want to, and if you haven't done this already, just go ahead, share, like us, um, start a watch party. Just go ahead and begin to share right now. So I want you to understand that the Lord has times and seasons in his hand. That's a song we all love to sing, by a song by Nathaniel Bassey. It's a wonderful, wonderful song that we all enjoy singing. And today I'm talking to us about our expensive or our costly associations that has cost us a lot. When we look at our accounting reports, we see that those associations have cost us a lot. We have lost a lot through some of those associations. But good news for you, I've told you over and over again that the reason that the Lord said I should do reflections is to bring good news to his people. But today I have good news for you. No matter how much your association has cost you, no matter how much you've lost, the Lord wants you to know that he's the God who is able to divinely rearrange things. He's able to correct those mistakes. He's got your back. He's got your back. And it was interesting because as I don't know why, I just um, suddenly sort of woke up in the night, and I was just thinking about this, and he just dropped a word in my heart. And that word was that I can put back the hands of the clock. It blew my mind. He said it was very, very clear. Very, very clear. He said, I can put back or turn back. I can turn back the hands of the clock. I said, wow. So for that person who has said, I have made too many mistakes, or I have made a very costly mistake, because for over a week we've been talking about associations, and I know by now somebody is feeling really bad. And for that person specifically who is saying, what am I going to do? It's too late for me. I've made a costly mistake. God said to say to you specifically, I can turn back the hands of the clock. I was so happy. I mean, for me, it was such good news for me personally this morning, because there were one or two things that I was looking at and I was saying, Lord, help me with this thing. Where did I miss it? Where did we go wrong? And the Lord said clearly, he said clearly, I can turn back the hand of the clock. So whatever it is, and tomorrow is going to be prayer time. Like I said, it's so much that he just began to pour into my heart. So much. I have to just go back and sit down and begin to write. I don't know whether I'm going to get a book out of this. And then he reminded me of a story, a real life example. It happened to me. Just to let you know that there's nothing God cannot correct. And that at every point in your life, God can bring up an association that will bless you. I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to be anxious about the mistakes you have made, because you do not, some costly associations you've gotten yourself into. Because like I said, as we do that audit, I'm still going to get us to a place where we can begin to deal with the ones that God reveals to us. But going back to the progression of, the communication I sort of had with the Lord today. I mean, it was just on going back and forth with him, going back and forth with him. And he reminded me of so many things. And I know we won't finish this morning. So, and tomorrow is prayer time, but it's okay. But I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. I told you that I'm an attorney. I'm a lawyer by training. Many years ago, many years ago, I'm talking of about, it could be close to 30 years. Could be close to 30 years. I was sitting in my office one day. I had a small legal practice. And somehow somebody told me something. It was about a young lady who I was in middle school with. We weren't classmates, but she was in middle school. When I was in middle school, I was a couple years ahead of her. A couple years or a year. I was ahead of her. I don't really remember the specifics. And I was told that this young woman was pregnant. She was married. She was pregnant. She was working in the bank. And then something happened. And they roped her in. And the culprits got away with it because they were the big people in the bank. And somehow for this poor young woman, she was the one who ended up in custody. She was the one who ended up in jail. And she knew nothing about it. When I was told the story, I'm talking to us about associations. That's why you must not give up. When I heard the story, I became restless. I became very restless. And if you know me, I hate when someone is treated. I cannot, it just does something to me. I cannot keep quiet. I became very restless. For days, I could not, I just wasn't myself. And then I remembered. I remembered that I had a classmate. I want you to listen to what association can do. I remembered I had a classmate whose mom was in the high court. And I called her. I said, listen, something is going on. So I took all the paperwork and I said, I want you to look at this. Cut a long story short, on appeal, because when this matter now finally got up, because we took it up, when it finally got up and they looked at the paperwork, there was such a travesty of justice that the judges said, what is this? What is this? Cut a long story short, that was 30 years ago. She got out. She got out. She was pregnant. I believe she had that baby in jail. It was horrific. But association. And it wasn't a close association. I wasn't close to her. I mean, if I see her today, I probably won't even recognize her. It was just a word somebody spoke in my ear. I remember this person is from my old school. And then I had this other person who I had also met in school, who also had a mother somewhere. I have good news for you. I have good news for you. No matter what you have lost, the value of it. Number one, God said, I can turn back the hand of the clock. Number two, God wants me to let you know that you do not even know where that help through association will come from. And that is why it is critical for us to be good to people. To be good to people. I was the person in the middle of all this in terms of the person who was connecting the dots. If she had been nasty to me somewhere along the line, if I had met her casually on the street somewhere, she had done some things to me, maybe I would not have felt, like, this person needs help. Maybe I would have said, I'm not surprised. She probably did it. And like I said, I wasn't close to her. I just felt restless inside of me. And then I had somebody else on the other side who said, this also doesn't look right. We will look into this matter. Good news. You know what? God is in the process of repairing somebody's life today. God is in the process of repairing somebody's life today. We are going to be praying tomorrow. We are going to be praying tomorrow. Good news. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Because there's nothing that can stop the Lord. And there's nothing that the Lord cannot use. Make sure you hit that share button. Do that for me this morning. Go ahead and hit that share button. We have to get this message out to everybody because at this time, we need help. We need hope. It's Fumi Obilano. Reflections. God bless you.